أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه وله وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد, we continue, and this is our fourth meeting, but it's our second in talking in general about the woman in Islam and the rights of the woman as a wife, as a mother, as a daughter, as a female, all of that. So it's a general discussion, but it is very important, and inshallah we will do this until the Ramadan, inshallah, until the month of Ramadan. We talked last time about few of the ahkam, or the rulings, in regards to women and how things, how Allah Azza wa Jalla created a woman in a certain way to serve a certain purpose, like He created the man, subhanahu wa ta'ala. هو الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها. He created you from a soul, single soul, that's Adam alayhi salam. خلق منها زوجها. Then from that same soul, same type, Allah created Hawa, his wife, Zawj. The word Zawj, it means both male and female in Arabic. Zawj, وَيَا آدَمُ اسْكُنْ أَنْتَ وَزَوْجُكَ, not وَزَوْجَتُكَ, وَزَوْجُكَ. So Zawj, هو زوجي وهي زوجي. يعني if the woman talk about her husband, she says he is my Zawj, and if the husband talk about his wife, he says she is my Zawj. Same thing. The word Zawja, the ta, it is more for, some to define whenever there are some cases that you need to know whether it's a male or a female, like an inheritance and all of these things. So the ta'nith is added there. Not our topic today, but the zawj, subhanallah, is one word, but used for both. That's kind of also a grammatical hint there that both are the same. So Allah Azza wa Jalla created the man to serve a certain purpose in this life, and He created the woman to serve a certain purpose in their life, in this life. That's why they are different physically, emotionally, they're different. Psychologically, they are different. The way they process things, they're different. It doesn't mean one better than the other. That is where the mistake comes, That's where the issue comes. When someone has a degree above the other person, it does not mean they're better than them. When somebody have more responsibility than the other, it does not mean they're better than them. And we, mashallah, talked about this plenty. So this is the shaitan way of trying to initiate this animosity. Allah Azza wa Jalla gave the man a degree above you, women, that means he's better than you. No. Sometimes a business owner gives someone more privileges, but they are actually more responsibility. And it is risky, dangerous. So giving someone more responsibility does not equal that they are better. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we are dealing with here. So Islam made this different in function based on difference in responsibility and different of purpose. Also, Allah Azza wa Jalla made them attracted to each other. Why? Because there is a goal. They have to procreate. There has to be family, have children. So Allah Azza wa Jalla created this physical attraction and the emotional attraction between the man and the woman. So they can serve what Allah Azza wa Jalla created them for. And you can see that in the Quran in more than one place. وَالَّذِي خَلَقَكُم مِّن نَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ وَجَعَلَ مِنْهَا زَوْجَهَا لِيَسْكُنَ إِلَيْهَا. So Allah Azza wa Jalla created you from a single soul, and then He created the spouse so He can dwell into, and then they have child and so on. And this is how it is. So Allah Azza wa Jalla make this physical attraction. And based on this physical attraction, Allah Azza wa Jalla made limits for everything. The woman has to dress in a certain way, the man has to behave in a certain way, both of them have to lower their gaze, and so on. When you know the big picture, then it becomes easy for you, the orders become easy for you. But if you take the orders as only obligations, then it becomes very hard. Why I have to do this? Why I have to do this? Why I have to do this? Okay, so it's very important to understand that they are here to serve a purpose, which is to worship Allah Azza wa Jal. But Allah created you different. Your body is different, your mind is different, your emotions are different. Not better or less, okay? So based on that, you have to behave in a certain way. So to behave in a certain way, Allah tell you do's and don'ts. Okay, so if you know that you are created to worship Allah, then everything becomes easy. But all this challenge and protesting is because we don't know the purpose, the real purpose of our creation. Islam made the woman partner for men, with men for everything. Rasul ﷺ said, "An-nisa'u shaqa'iqur rijal." The women are sisters of the brothers. Shaqa'iq means half and half. This half, the other half. Also, the Quran says, "Man ya'mal min as-salihati min dhakarin aw untha." Whoever made good deeds, men and women. So the Quran is emphasizing on the act that you are equal when it comes to good deeds. You're praying, I am praying. Allah is the one who decides whose prayer is better. It's not based on male and female here. Right? Even in the ahkam, the applicable ahkam might be different. Again, the feeling will come that going to the masjid is better than staying at home. That's why Rasulullah ﷺ said, no, for you women, staying at home is better than going to the masjid. But you can go to the masjid. You can. See, it's open for you, but it's not an obligation. As I said in the very beginning, it is about how you look at things. If you look from comparison that, okay, going to the masjid is like, man's privilege. That's fine. Then you will see yourself less. But Islam tells you, you can stay home and still get the reward of the masjid. So who's the winner? You. So basically, if you look at it, you find you have less effort, but you are doing more. As I give you the hadith of the woman who asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Asma bint Yazid. This is the Sahabiya who asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. From Ansar, yes. So she asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that, Ya Rasulullah, we believed in you and all of that. Men, they do jihad, they do the Jum'ah, and all of this. So how we get all of that? How we get this reward? How we get this reward? So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, one of you, when you become good to your husband, you get the reward for all of that. Again, it will be the issue in your head, my head, everybody's head. But I want to do all of these things. Well, this is the whole idea. The whole idea is this contest. It's a contest. So some women will make it as a contest. And some men will play along. They will play along. Willingly or unwillingly, intentionally or unintentionally, it depends, everybody's intention here. But it is, Shaitan make it such a big, huge game. Okay, telling you have to fight the man all the time in your head. Some do it positively, some do it negatively. Some do it in good ways, some do it in bad ways. But the idea is, this man here, I have to bring him down. It's not compete to become better. Like he's a scholar, I want to be a scholar, a better scholar. Fine, go ahead. Actually, we encourage you to do that. But no, it is the things that I'm not invited to. So the man does all of these things. I want to do that thing. Do your issues, I want to do that thing. And this is where the whole idea of, non-honorable contest comes. No contest. في ذلك فليتنافس المتنافسون. Allah Azza wa Jalla said to enter Jannah, to do this, to get these degrees, and to perfect your salah, to perfect your ilm, to read the Quran, to be good to the community, all of that. This is an open competition for men and women. And women are invited to actually compete and become better than men. And I give you many examples where women excelled better than men. In the science of hadith, for example, their degree and their status in hadith is way, it's non-touchable, like in their integrity and that's how you succeed. Those are the success stories that you need to embrace. But they never, one of them, she compromised her motherhood, like being a mother or being a sister, being a wife, being good to her husband, feeling that he has a degree above by Allah Azza wa Jalla for responsibility, not a degree of superiority, and so on. All right. Allah Azza wa Jalla told us about this attraction, like in Surah Al-Rum, وَجَعْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. بَيْنَكُمْ, between, that means it's a mutual thing. It goes back and forth. ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا. This is verse 21 of Surah Al-Rum. ومن آياته, and among the signs of your Lord that He created to you spouses from your own kind. لتسكنوا إليها, so you can dwell into. وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة, and He made between you mawadda and rahmah. Mawadda is that love, natural love, that mixed with sacrifice. Not the love which demands things in return. Rahmah, mercy as well. So, how Islam approaches women or talk about women. From the very beginning, Islam tells us that the woman or the female should be raised in piety and righteousness, like a male. Like a male. It's not like male-female issue. يا أيها الذين آمنوا, or you believe, قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا وقودها الناس والحجارة. Save yourselves and your families from a fire of hell, the fuel of which men and stones. Hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. See, this is where we equal, right? I want you to focus on how the hadith is. Before you say man up, woman down, before. The general statement is there. كلكم راع. All of you is like a shepherd. وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. And all of you will be responsible or be asked about those who are under their care. Then الإمام راع ومسؤول عن رعيته. Imam, the leader of the Muslims, he is a shepherd and he will be asked. So that's now a type of responsibility. But all of us responsible, all of us will be asked. Yes? So that's equality right there for you. Then the job description is different. So the leader will be asked according to their capacity. وَالرَّجُلُ رَاعٍ فِي أَهْلِهِ, and the man is responsible about all his family. وَمَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ, will be asked about them, his wife and children and all that. وَالْمَرْأَةُ رَاعِيَةٌ فِي بَيْتِ زَوْجِهَا, she is responsible about the household of her husband. وَمَسْئُولَةٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهَا, she will be asked. So you will not be asked about your husband, because it's not your duty to make sure that he's doing things. But it's his duty that he makes sure that you're doing these things. So if you fall short of certain things, the husband will be asked about it. But it's not your capacity to give the man the orders, so that's why you will not be asked about it. So you can look at it two different ways, Why he can order me, but I cannot order him? Well, he can be punished because of you, but you are not going to be punished because of him. So this is, it goes both ways, like this is what it is. وَالْخَادِمُ رَاعٍ فِي مَالِ سَيِّدِهِ وَمَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ, and the servant is responsible about the money or the wealth of his master or of his employer, and will be asked about that. And all of you will be asked. وَكُلُّكُمْ رَاعٍ وَمَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ. This hadith in Hadith Abdullah ibn Umar in Bukhari and Muslim. So this hadith is very common, very, very famous. About girls specifically, because Jahiliyyah, in pre-Islamic period, Jahiliyyah, they used to look down upon girls, right? Why? From a practical point of view, I'm not saying it's right. They're saying, okay, girl, she will be married, she's going to go to another tribe, she is going to have children for someone else, not my tribe, okay? So basically, she is not an extension to this family. That's how they look. Jahiliyyah, I'm not saying that's how I look at it. I'm saying this is how the Jahiliyyah. So we're saying this girl here, I got a girl, there is no extension for me, my pride, my culture, my tradition, my tribe. There's no extension. It stopped right there. She's my daughter, yes. I love her, yes. I'm talking about moderate ones, yeah, the ones who are moderate. So, but the boy, he's my son, and his son is my grandchild. If there is a fight, they will stand beside me. They will earn money, and we will be the trade together. They are like, the ones who stand and give me that support and honor. But my daughter is going to go do that to somebody else. Okay? So her child will not be mine, will not belong to me. It's not an extension to my honor and all of this. So that's how they looked at it. I'm talking about the moderate ones. I'm not talking about the bad guys. I'm talking about moderate ones. That's what they think. So whenever they have a son, they are happy. Whenever they have daughter, they are not happy. But they are moderate, right? Now they will have the extreme ones that, that they will do bad things. Okay? And their face will become gloomy, and as Allah Azza wa Jalla said, ظل وجهه مسودا وهو كظيم يتوارى من القوم من سوء ما بشر به أيمسكه على هون أم يدسه في التراب ألا ساء ما يحكمون. So they will bury the child alive, or they will hide, they become humiliated, this kind of thing. It's like here we have Jahiliyyah also, in the 21st century. Someone gets married, he gets a son, they said, you are the proud father. Proud father. Now if he gets a daughter, he's not proud, yani? Yeah, sahih. And I never came across that term until I myself was told that. I said, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean? Like when they said, what did you get? I said, oh, alhamdulillah, I got a son. He said, oh, you are a proud father. Okay, of course I'm proud that my wife, alhamdulillah, is healthy and she give birth and I have a healthy child. If this is what you mean, he said, no, you have a son. I said, okay, if I have a daughter, you're not proud? See, Jahiliyyah, the remains of Jahiliyyah continues, right? And this is the people who have like all these degrees and, suave and, feel like they are like in America and all of that. And they say those things like Quraysh, at all times. So what's the difference? What makes me proud, You understand the concept? It's all integrated in the culture, how we are raised. Even, subhanAllah, you find women in poor countries, women themselves, in poor countries, and, unprivileged, underprivileged and all of that, they themselves want to have a son. To become part of this culture. And if the poor lady feels guilty, when she deliver, girl after a girl or something like that, and then she becomes so scared, and she becomes so humiliated, also shamed. What? Subhanallah, what is that? So this is where all of this Jahiliyyah. So Allah Azza wa Jal showed us this equality in the deen. ذكر أو أنثى. المسلمين والمسلمات. المؤمنين والمؤمنات. You can say, in Arabic, if you use the term, it is not like implication of the gender, like when you say a general term for everybody, it is not like excluding females. Okay? So in Arabic does not have, it is not, it's not what they say, it's not sexually charged. Yani. Some people think the grammar, Arabic grammar is like, they make it sexually charged. Like they said, why Allah used the pronoun, the male pronoun for himself? Why the angel Jibreel alayhi salam is male pronoun if you are saying the angels are not males and females, right? They kind of charge it like that in a gender way. Gender charged. This is wrong, actually. The grammar is grammar, right? You don't come and try to play in every arena to sexualize everything. In Arabic, there is no it. There is no neutral pronoun. It's either male or female. This is a desk. It is a he. This phone is a he. This wire is a he, right? This thawb is a he. Depends which country you're in, right? It's a thawb. If you say go in Egypt, it's a she, jalabiyya, that's how the abaya you are wearing. That's a she. Khimar is a he. Glasses is a she, right? Your nose is a he. I'm just telling you to make you laugh a little bit. If I go like that, he and she, right? But it is not a he or she. He or she, when it comes to mammals like men humans, animals, and mammals, things that reproduce, there is a male and female organ and this kind of thing, then yes. Okay? Then that's then an added indication there. But a tree, a wall, a chair, microphone, the mushaf, the words, the letters, the ink, the paper, everything is a he or a she. Okay? So don't try to get there. And that is how the language is there, and that's how it's agreed upon. All right. So, but because of this jahiliyyah, because of these also natural feelings, it's a natural feeling. We don't deny it. Allah Azza wa Jalla emphasized that having sons, it is kind of a natural desire. It needs to be tamed. Don't act upon it in a negative way. But yeah, it's a natural desire. Proof of Quran, زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبُّ الشَّهَوَاتِ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ وَالْبَنِينَ. You see? Allah is talking about men, males here. Males are the ones, nas here. Nas here means males. Why? Allah said, because it made dear, it is made loved, desired by men, women, and sons. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Why I said an-nas here means men? Because you see what is coming after. It said made for men, loved and desired, the women and the children. So it means we are not talking about women here. We are talking about men. You have to see the context, right? So Allah said it is desired in the heart of the man desiring women. But Allah Azza wa Jal make the rules for us where that desire can go and how far it can go and how it's channeled, right? Same thing, as a man, I want a son. Of course, I do. I want a son to help me and support me and work for me. But my daughter, exactly. The way the Jahiliyyah they used to think is the natural way, but how they act upon it is not the right way. See, they're two different things. Natural feelings, but not good act. Acting upon it is not good. So from inside, I believe the same thing. I raise my daughter and everything, but I'm not ashamed to have a daughter. I love my daughter, I honor her and all of these things, and I'm happy that she's healthy, she's happy like my son, exactly. But the feeling here is, who's going to help me carry what I'm doing? My son. But my daughter is like, the end, the final thing after she grows, she wants to be engaged to a man that she loves and respects and helps and all of that. So she will help another man like my wife helped me, like my mother helped my father, right? She is going to establish that family, which I'll be connected to also, exactly, like Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his daughters. Okay, so he did not have son sallallahu alayhi wa sallam who lived, but that tells you how. So because of these feelings, Islam is taming it. Islam is saying the degree and the reward. So don't let your natural feelings divert you from doing right thing. That's why Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Man kana lahu ثلاث بنات أو ثلاث أخوات أو بنتان أو أختان فأحسن صحبتهن واتقى الله فيهن فله الجنة." في رواية أخرى فأدبهن وأحسن إليهن وزوجهن فله الجنة. Right. So the hadith of Sunan Abi Dawud, Tirmidhi and Abu Dawud, يعني. The same hadith is mentioned, by the way, in different occasions, different ways. But this one is more detailed. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiallahu anhu, he's narrating the hadith, he's saying Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever had 3 daughters or 3 sisters, 3 daughters or 3 sisters, or 2 daughters or 2 sisters. There are some other narrations that some of the Sahaba asked Rasulullah, and the 2? He says, and 1, they didn't ask for 1. Because they were afraid to ask for 1, You say, So just leave it open. That's why the scholar said even 1. Because, that's how he was going, right? 3, yes, 2, that means 1 too. Even though there is difference among the people of usul, the adad, qiyas and the adad and all that. But this is not the issue here. So whoever have 3 daughters or 3 sisters, or 2 daughters, 2 sisters, فَأَحْسَنَ صُحْبَتَهُنَّ, he accompanied, he became a good companion. Suhbah here means they living with or taking care of. You know, sahib, friend, and companion. So he made ihsan in it. So he was dealing with them nicely and all of that, his sisters and his daughters. وَاتَّقَ اللَّهَ فِيهِنَّ, and fear Allah Azza wa Jalla in the way he deals with them. Because, you know, your sisters, so sometimes the sisters get emotional, right? Sometimes they rash into, you know, haste into making judgments and taking this. So the man has to have taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jalla. وَاتَّقَ اللَّهَ فِيهِنَّ فَلَهُ الْجَنَّةِ, he will go Jannah. In the Sunan Abi Dawud, that's the way of Tirmidhi. In the Sunan Abi Dawud, he said, فَأَدَّبَهُنَّ, he instructed them, educated them, يعني, instructed them. وَأَحْسَنَ إِلَيْهِنَّ, that's ihsan now. وَزَوَّجَهُنَّ, until they got married. And he is the one who got them married. فَلَهُ الْجَنَّةِ. So basically, from all those ahadith, is saying the status of a person who has daughters. Why? Because everybody think dunya when it comes to males, right? How? Yani, what is the difference between a male and a female in akhirah? What's the difference? No difference. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when someone dies, your amal will be stopped. You know, no degree, no reward for your amal, except 3 things: continuous charity or beneficial knowledge, or a pious and righteous child who will make dua for you. Can be a boy or a girl. Doesn't have to be a boy. You know, what if a man he only have girls and he dies? Yani khalas, no dua. They cannot make dua. He cannot benefit from his daughters. No, he can. Actually, that dua can be better than the dua of the men, because the daughter is very emotionally attached to her father, right? Very emotionally attached to her father and mother. It does not matter how old she becomes. It does not matter how many children she has. It does not matter how much she loves her husband. Yes? But the man is not like that, subhanallah. The man becomes distracted and busy. Once he leaves his parents' house, khalas. He feels it's like a duty only. I call my mom, illa man rahim Allah, yani. Except some people, Mom, I'm very busy and all of that. But you find the girl, she just can't wait. She wants to see her parents. She wants to be nice. She wants to connect. Okay? So that's why this lafta, this sunnah is taking us back to emphasizing that. It says, take care of those girls and all of that, then you'll enter Jannah. So don't think that, you know, once the girl left, she's going to belong to someone else. That's the dunya standard. But actually, the minute she goes to someone else, if you did your job right, it's Jannah, khalas, guaranteed. From the minute the birth until the marriage. Right? Until the marriage. Then after that, the man is responsible. Her husband is responsible about her. He becomes her wali. Yani that's it. That's why in the nikah, the man, the father, he's the wali of the girl, right? He's giving her hand to someone. He said, you know what? Until here, I done my job. Now you. So it is not putting the woman down. Oh, why she cannot marry herself? Why she cannot do this? Shaitan again, right? I always, whenever I do the marriage, I say, let me explain to you this wali thing, especially, you know, non-Muslims or Muslims who are not practicing, you know, like why my girl cannot sit beside him and you can ask both of them. You see, there's some people think like that, as if it is a dishonor or not dishonor. It's a less of an honor that the father does the nikah on behalf of his daughter. People think like that, right? Sometimes, especially when women become like liberated, you know, like, you know, more educated, liberated from whatever slavery they were in, Allahu A'lam, yani, I don't know. But when they become like that, they think along that line all the time. And I'm sorry, I might be a little bit offensive to some active sisters in the community or this, but I speak the truth, you know. I'm a very balanced person, alhamdulillah, when it comes to men and women, you know. I don't favor anybody. When I'm talking to the sisters, I might be hard on you, telling you rules, right? That you should do. But when I'm talking to the men, I'm doing the same, by the way. And even sometimes more, right? Pound on them more. So don't take it that, and I'm biased for this. If I have two in front of me, you'll see. Like, you know, both are in front of Allah. It's my responsibility to teach you both. So sometimes I say, okay, there is a program in the masjid. and there is a panel of four sheikhs here. First question, where are the women? Where are the women in the panel? And you will find very good people trying to defend that point. Actually, you're right and wrong at the same time. This is not the issue. Standard is why we don't have women in the panel. Right? The question is based on what? You have men only. Right? But don't say, I need women in the panel, then I'm fine. Don't make that your standard, because this is the wrong standard. You see, you can reach the same thing you want, but you are not expressing it right. And that's why, as I say, some men play along. You know, play along? Said, just give them what they want. Just put some sisters there. Kida yani. This is for the look. Play along, right? But then who loses? Both lose. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, right? So your question should be, based on what you are choosing speakers. What is the standard of choosing speakers? We are going to speak about women. Okay, good. Based on what now? Who's the best to speak about women? You tell me, who? If I ask you that question, what would be your answer? If you say men, you're wrong. If you say women, you are also wrong. You get it? So if you said, because some people they said, you have a confidence about women and there is no women there. So what? What does that do anything? Logically, it is not like a valid argument. Okay? Who is best to speak about women in what regard? Okay? What regard? Which part? Which part? Then you see who's more knowledgeable. Well, this person in Houston, more knowledgeable than all the men. This is the one we need to bring. It doesn't matter now, even the panel does not have any man. If the subject actually of men and the most qualified is women, bring. If I have one sister here in the city or in the state that she knows the qira'at of the Quran more than anyone. Qira'at. In our history it happened before. In Egypt, for example, there was a lady, one time she used the top, the scholar in the whole country. So if you want the top, you have to go to that. Nobody can say, bring men. Men only has to be there. Well, bring as many men as you want, right? It does not change the fact she is more knowledgeable than all of them. Okay? And it goes the other way around also. So please, don't make this an issue. Try to pick the standard and pick your battles right. Then you will reach to where you want. Sisters, wallahi, I swear, you need education and you need it now more than any time, young or old. All our high schoolers, you should sign them for weekend seminars with an Islamic organization or online. When they are taking classes in college, I'm advising you as mothers, think about this. If we do this in the next 10 years, we can change the whole Muslim society in North America. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm just speaking very fair, very achievable thing. Very achievable with the least of efforts. 10 years from now, if your child is just entering 9th grade, in the next 10 years, every year has 3 or 4 semesters, right? That is 10 years, right? That's about 30 to 40 Islamic courses. That's a bachelor's degree basically in Islamic studies. My profession is field of education, so I always think like this, right? Achievable things. 10 years. 10 years, whatever they are doing, from high school, 9th grade, that is 4 years in high school, and 4 years in college, that's 8 years, plus 2 years into their professional life. And actually, I want it to be 10 years. I don't want them to finish it in 4 years. I want them to study Islam while they are in high school. I want them to study Islam while they are in college life. I want them to study Islam when they are professional, career, and about to get married. You see the idea here? So studying Islam is spread over 10 years. That's important. Because sometimes we are only focused on the bachelor degree, on the degree. Oh, my son finished the bachelor degree in 2 years or 3 years. So what? I regret that I was the youngest person in the class. I wish that I go back and I take my time in education. I don't want to jump another grade. I don't want to finish things fast. If things take 4 years, especially things that I need in my life, I want to spend time studying it. I want to spend time studying it. I want to put thought into it. I want to discern the information, right? So I don't want just to a large amount, oh, I have a bachelor's degree in Islamic studies, and what? Right? But if you study a course and that course reflects, you see your son or your daughter study the course and you see how they change in your house. You see how they change in the school. One course after the other, you see their prayer changes. You see how they talk to you, right? Now, this is what is worth the world. But having a degree, then what? The end of it, what the degree do to you? Get you some money? But how about the Jannah? How about pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So Islam emphasized on this act of teaching the girls and all of that. So please get out of this issue of me versus him versus me, this kind of attitude. It's not going to help. It's actually will deter. So it is not based on there has to be a woman in everything. Right? No, they don't have to be a woman in everything. It doesn't have to be like that. Be qualified. Then you will find yourself in everything. Okay? So this is the hikmah here. And instead of fighting to be a female has to be in every presentation, why you don't qualify all the females? They become more qualified that they would be in every presentation. So you'll actually achieve what you want, but nicely, without a fight. You'll find that, okay, you want psychology? That's sister. Or you want tafsir? It is that sister. You want education? It is that sister. Then the men will start saying, everything sisters. Why not? Actually, it's going to happen like this. That's what happened in our history, and it can happen again if you just pay attention to education. Delay your fights, my sisters. Delay your fights for 10 years. And educate yourselves. And focus on the girls. We want Houston to have this revolution of Hafiz girls. Huffaz of the Quran. Hafizat of the Quran. Students of Sunnah. A group specialized in fiqh, tafsir, Start with little things. Learn the fiqh of salah for your high schoolers. Fiqh of salah under someone or a course online. There are many things, right? Explore, teach yourself and teach your daughters. And you'll see this change comes. You'll see it coming. That's why I was telling the brothers a few days ago. I was speaking about something, and then, this men-women thing comes, and I said, I'm just giving you a heads up, because by the end of this year, you're going to have someone correcting you all the time. I just told them. I told the brothers what we spoke about last time. I promised you I'm going to do it, right? I told them, brothers, this khatira after Isha and Fajr is not going to cut it for you. I just told them that. This is not going to be enough for you a year from now, if Allah gives us life. And the pace we are going in this masjid, these sisters will know basically everything, the basics, right? So whenever you try to put religion anywhere, you will find someone telling you Allah said, Rasulullah said, this is narrated in Bukhari, Abu Dawood, Faqih, Ahmad ibn Hanbal said, Shafi'i said. So you're not going to go anywhere, right? So I told them your only redemption is to make a 2-hour, dedicate 2 hours a week to study like the sister studying on Wednesday. I said it here in the masjid here. I did. And I'm going to do it in khutbah, inshallah, again, over and over. And I'm going to do that. This is something that really we need to change. Okay? We cannot just keep talking. That's why after Ramadan, we're going to start a course after a course after a course, right? And then you get a certificate and you have that course. And then you'll be teaching that course to others. That is how you claim your right. That's how you become there. That's how you become better in the right, honorable way. في دين الله عز وجل. Seeking the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by the way of the Quran, according to the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Forget about anybody telling you have to fight, you have to do no fighting here. You just better yourself and leave it, and you will see you are taking the leadership positions. Yes. Allahu Akbar. Now, mingling or the relationship between men and women. As I told you, there is some attraction between the two. And if it is left without any guidelines and any limitations, it's going to go wild. It's not going to have any good result at the end. And you can see in a society or in a culture that it is open between boys and girls to do whatever they want. You see, there's no end. Actually transgresses all the limits. Physically, emotionally, the abuse, how they look at each other, how the man look at the woman. In a culture that claims that it respects women, right? It actually humiliates women, does not come worse than that. It does not come worse than that. As I was telling you before, the same one who's saying that the woman is respected and all of that, using the woman as a commodity or as an advertisement to promote commodities. So she becomes a commodity, basically. She becomes the packaging. And that's not right. Unfortunately, a few years ago, 3-4 years ago, I was talking to a Muslim business owner in Houston. And they have stores, business stores, selling something. I don't want to say what because I don't want to reveal who. But someone known is selling certain commodities. And then I asked him, why you always having girls only working on the store? Just curiosity, why this specific commodity can be sold by men better? Because it is about men. It's men stuff, men things, clothes and stuff. So I said, you're right. Men will understand this better, but women will sell more. I say, explain to me. I know what he means, but I just wanted to have that conversation, I said, explain to me. He said, okay, I bring a good man here. He runs the store. Men will not come and buy as if there is a woman standing there and they see when they're passing by. I said, are you telling me that some people will not be actually interested in buying this, but they just come because the beautiful girl? He said, exactly. Exactly. And they end up buying. So they actually don't want to buy that, but when they find a pretty girl, oh, hi, how are you doing, sweetheart, and this and that, and smile, and then they end up buying $200-$300. I said, really? He said, really? And this is proven. It's not like something I'm assuming or exaggerating. He said, no, here is a man, but he's in the back of the store. He's in the back of the store. When it comes to measurements and all of these kind of things, a man can handle that. But to bring the customer in the store, there has to be a girl, and not any girl. She has to look in a certain way. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. So that is the culture that's saying to the woman, you have to be equal to the man. You have to do what the man does. And then bring her out of the house, and she is a show. Okay? So at the same time, saying you have to be equal, but then the same guys, they design her clothes in a revealing manner. So the man is attracted to her physically, then say to the man that you're wrong, that you are attracted to her physically, and then she's telling her he should not be attracted to you physically, yet you should be naked, that's all right. But he cannot be attracted to you physically, and if he's attracted to you physically, he's not a good man. Okay, so you see the corruption in corrupting everybody's mind. Okay, so the man is walking like on eggshells, because if he looks to the woman who's revealing, which is natural inclination, Allah Azza wa Jal created like that, then he's going to be accused and all over the news and everything, and how. And at the same time, she is challenging everything, and she said, I can do whatever I want. It's like a TV, you have the remote in your hand, you don't blame the programs in the TV, because you have the remote in your hand. Well, I know the remote is in my hand, but you are making it accessible, right? So both are. So Islam put those limits. There is a certain limits. When your feeling reaches to that, your eyes has to be certain places. Okay? If your eye does that, then you have to look on the other side. If a man and a woman alone, shaitan will be the third. If one man and one woman, that's why more women, that's okay. More men is okay. So it becomes public, right? And you cannot go in a place that you close the door and it's not accessible. This is a public place. This is a place of worship. This is a halqa of ilm. All those are filters, right? All those are added filters. You are dressed in a certain way. I am looking at you in a certain way. We are doing the lecture here, and we are in the house of Allah. It's a public place. All of those layers that actually tames these feelings and all of that. But if same people meet in a different environment, it will be different. If we come across each other in a grocery store, it's different. You see, now we are sitting here because I'm here and you are there and we are studying. But we cannot stand in front of a grocery store and have a conversation. It's going to be more uncomfortable, right? Because we know our limitations. Same thing, you cannot be in a place behind a closed door. You cannot be alone, two alone, a man and a woman. Doesn't matter how pious they are. So Islam make all of these restrictions for that natural inclination to be channeled properly. Subhanallah. In Islam, yes, men and women, they communicate with each other. They deal with each other. But let me tell you this. It is based on necessity and need. Based on necessity and need. No more than that. This idea of socialization for the sake of it, between women only and men only. Right? So between women only and men only. What do I mean by that? A woman can have a woman friend that they can socialize just for the sake of socializing, right? Going and drinking tea and having fun and watching a movie, sitting at one home, having lunch together, that's all right. Men can do the same thing. But a man and a woman do this? No. No. That's not right. It is not my words only, by the way. This is psychologically proven. People who are non-Muslims, famous, all of that. You know, there is a funny guy who comes in the TV, Steve Harvey. You know, he has a show. He's a funny guy. I'm not saying that I'm not approving everything what he said. But one time they asked him that specific question: can a man and a woman be friends, just friends? And the shocking answer, he said, no. You know, and this is someone like, that is what American culture is. Right? So this is a representative of that culture. It's someone who spent his life under the lights, you know, famous and celebrity and with celebrities, and means he saw it all. Been there, done that, right? And he comes and said, nope, one word, no way, not 1%, even. He said, how he says that? He said, come on now. People can deceive you, can talk to you, can talk about education, respect, this and that. But man, woman, alone, they will develop feeling for each other. There is no way it's going to go other way. Unless they are sick or something wrong with them both. Yani he's not enough of a man or she's not enough of a woman. Yani they have twisted something, right? But if it is a straight man, a straight woman, there is no way. They will develop feeling for each other. Yes.
Is there an age, like I've heard that if you're old enough, you can just like be more relaxed with a...
No age. It is all about no age. I'm telling you from fiqh perspective and all of that. A man can be 100 years old, but he has that, you know.
A young boy, like a son, or like more relaxed.
Good. That's a good question. When it comes to the other side, again, it's the same thing. In the books of fiqh, it is detailed. Like القواعد من النساء, يعني the women who لا يرجون نكاحا, يعني she's not going to get married, she's not desiring marriage anymore, and she's not like a point of desire like for someone, right? So then فليس عليهن جناح أن يضعن ثيابهن غير متبرجات بزينة. Still she cannot uncover, she cannot be relaxed with a non-mahram. See, Quran is very specific. أن يضعن ثيابهن يعني means not very strict in the way she dresses. You know that women used to dress like, this clothes, and then they have this upper abaya, then they have the long khimar coming, sometimes they cover. So if you do a little bit lighter, one layer lighter, that's all right. That's what Quran says. But غير متبرجات بزينة. يعني not to show a non-mahram what she can show to a mahram. Still she can be a little bit lighter, a little bit relaxed, as you said, little bit. But the word relaxed here is relaxed. We want relaxed. Yeah? We use the word relaxed in a relaxed manner. So, it is all about being desired or desiring. That is our standard. The age is not the limit. Because you will find a 60-year-old woman sometimes married to a 20-year-old guy. Yeah, and now with all these surgeries and the plastic surgery they do and everything like that, you don't know who's 60 and who's 40 anymore. Do you? Really, I'm just telling you, like, everything is possible, everything is done, you know. So you don't know. You don't know. And some people, subhanAllah, they don't age easy. You know, you think they are 20 years younger than who they are. Some people like that, among men, among women. So in Islam, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ. المؤمنين. يعني you cannot tell a 90-year-old man you are exempted from this ayah of lowering the gaze. You know, can you say at age you lower your gaze as long as you are under 50 or under 70? Nobody said that. So it is always based on the person. So there is a general rule, there is individual cases, right? That's why I'm saying relationship between man and woman is based on need. Based on need, not leisure. Right? Women with women, this is a comfort, based on comfort. You hang out with the ones that you feel comfortable with. The ones who benefit you, the one who make you feel good, the one you can share, you know, get advice from, or, you know, become personal. Right? You can, as you taking off your hijab and clothes in front of other women, you also take other feelings, right? You feel more comfortable with another woman. But in front of me, you are dressed properly. You have to take a lesson from that. Before you talk to a stranger man, you are dressed in a certain way. That means also your behavior has filter also. So the more clothes you take in front of someone, that's the more comfortable you become. That's why the husband is the most comfortable, right? Because khalas, there is no limit here. But the outer of the husband, your children, you have to be dressed in front of them in a certain way and deal with them in a certain way. Your brothers, a little bit more, right? Your uncles, a little bit more. Strangers, way more. Okay, so in between here, there are different rules. There are different rules. So that's why Islam is giving us these restrictions. So please know this. I know Islam is very strict in this one. The relationship between man and woman, it is not based on comfort, it is based on need. But man with a man, yeah, I feel comfortable with these guys, I don't feel comfortable with these guys, I hang out with them, I talk with them, I laugh, I joke, we touch each other and all of these kind of things, right? Women, the same thing. When you see each other, you hug, you kiss, you know, all of these women things that women do, right? Like all these things that the guys do, all right? That's fine, based on comfort, same gender. But based on need, that's when the man and the woman come, right? The only relationship that no limits is husband-wife. Okay? But between me and my daughter, there is a certain limit of comfort. Between me and my sister, there is a certain level of comfort. Yes, more than a stranger woman, but not like my wife. And for me, more than any other man, but not like your husband. Okay? So this is what I mean by based on the need. Who is that person and all of that. Subhanallah. The hikmah of this, when say the word mahram and non-mahram, right? The word mahram means, you know, the everything out of that is excluded, is haram. Yani he is the one, that mahram is like, I cannot marry. You cannot marry that person, that means you become more comfortable with. You see, so when the basic attraction does not lead to the physical contact, that person becomes okay. Have you looked at it before like that? You see what I'm saying? Like your father. You are so comfortable with your father because male, female, they are physically attracted to each other. Why? So they become with each other. And that only can happen when marriage happens, right? A father cannot do that. That's why you become very comfortable with the father. That's why you become very comfortable with the son. That's why you become very comfortable with that. A person that it is possible to be married to, you cannot be comfortable with. See the... No. Because, you know, closer men and women they get to each other, the stronger the inclination will be, and then this natural thing will kick in, the feelings, and they will develop feelings for each other. And then, subhanAllah, it becomes very hard. That's why Islam starts from lowering the gaze. Because every step after that makes it harder. People come to me, boys and girls, and they come seeking advice. All right, Shaykh, I am involved with this sister, or I am involved with that brother in college, or this man or that woman. Sometimes Muslim, sometimes not Muslim, sometimes she's Muslim, sometimes she's not Muslim. And all scenarios are there, you can imagine. But they come and seek advice after they're emotionally involved already. Okay? So there's two in a class, one semester, they're in the class, they seeing each other, they started liking each other, right? Oh, hi, how are you doing? Did you do this? What's your name? Where are you from? You want to grab some coffee, let's sit down, some sandwich, and they talk, they look at each other, they smile at each other. And then that's where it becomes hard to back off now. It's hard because, that's how naturally Allah created us, right? You attract, it becomes very hard to pull. It is opposite to two magnets, yani. It's actually here like positive and negative. They're coming to each other. When you try to separate them, it's very hard, right? Because they get closer to each other. And the closer the magnetic field, the closer they are, the harder it becomes to pull. So, okay, akhi, you should not have done that. My sister should not have done that. But it's done already. So what do you do? It becomes very hard for me also to give practical advice. When you say, well, don't talk to each other. How this is going to happen now? We just have class today and we went out. We went and watched a movie together and you're telling me not to talk to her again? You see what I'm saying here? You understand now why Islam starts from the eye. So sometimes said, come on now. It's disrespect if you don't look at the person you're talking to. I understand that. But Islam starts far beyond. Okay? So it goes eyes, then after that it becomes contact, emotional involvement, then after that physical involvement, then zina at the end. So why Rasul ﷺ said the eyes will commit zina, the hands will commit zina, the feet will commit zina, and then the zina, the actual zina will happen. So this actual zina happened because there are too many steps violated. All these trespassed. One fence after the other. The wall is collapsing, right? Harder. That's why first one is very important. And first one has to be tough, hard. Because once you pass that, things become easier. They become easier. It's not harder. First one is very hard. That means what comes after is lesser and lesser and lesser. It is not going the other way around. And I'm sure you know as sisters that you're the key for all this in relationship. I'm not going to say you are to blame. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you are the key. You're the one who have actually the key in your hand. Because the woman, when she opens up, she invites, the man finds and that guy I told you about, this Steve Harvey guy, he actually quoted this exact thing. He said, all this time, the man can be showing you how much he respects you, value you as a human being. You are a human being. You are not less of a human being, and all this kind of human being talk, right? The minute you put your guard down, emotionally, boom, the man is in. That's why I tell all the sisters all the time, if you have marital issue or something like that, be careful who you talk to and how you talk and what you talk about. Because naturally, I'm not saying all men are bad like this. I'm saying by nature, Allah SWT created us as males to be caretakers of the female. Alright? Like an animal, animals, right? So take care of the herd, like the male, he can die for it. Can kill another male if they come close and try to take over the group, right? You know how it is. So a man is like that. He has this defense if my females or somebody trying to get to them. But at the same time, he wants to get to other females. You see how it is? So Islam came to tame that. So once you find a man find a woman vulnerable, they start talking nicely to her. That's automatic, by the way. I'm not saying this is because bad intentions there. What comes next can be good or bad. But normally, my sisters, If you have a problem with your husband or with your father or something like that, and you're talking to another man about it, make sure that that man is a counselor or is a scholar or someone like that. Don't talk to your classmate or your friend at work or co-worker. That is the biggest, hugest mistake ever you can do. As I said, it's you and your luck. Who's that kind? What kind of person is that? Because two things will happen. One, you're going to share something private. He doesn't know. He sees you for whoever you are, right? Professional. Student, a co-worker, a mother, whatever you are. Once you open up, Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walahu ba'd. So still we're talking about how Islam looks at women and the relationship between men and women. So we talked about the women's status. We talked about how you look at your competition and all of that, and how the competition is from Islamic perspective. And we talked about the ikhtilat, or the mingling, or the relationship is based on need, not based on convenience or feel good. And that's why Islam starts from look. Look. And the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the hadith narrated by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu, النظرة سهم مسموم من سهام إبليس. So the look, or the peeking at someone, looking at someone, it is a poisoned arrow from Iblis. Even though this hadith has some weakness in it, but the meaning is true. There is that hadith of Uqba ibn Amir radiallahu anhu, hadith narrated in Bukhari and Muslim, that Rasulullah SAW said, إِيَّاكُمْ وَالدُّخُولُ عَلَى النِّسَاءِ. Be careful entering the gatherings of women. Like men to enter gatherings of women. قال رجل من الأنصار, a man from الأنصار, قال يا رسول الله أفرأيت الحم. الحم, it means the brother-in-law. قال الحم الموت. الحم الموت is death. It's like death. So sometimes certain culture, the husband's brother becomes like more than the brother, more than the husband himself sometimes. Husband will go to work and the wife is home, she's not wearing hijab, she's cooking for him, washing his clothes, having fun together, all of that, while the husband is, and I'm not exaggerating, I'm saying that. It's like that. That's haram.
In Pakistan, if there is a joint family system, so they will do everything for their brother-in-law, even if they're younger or...
But that's fine, you do things is one thing, but the relationship is another thing. This family construct, you agree this is a system, family system, you know what you're getting into, but your life is going to become hard. It does not exempt him if he's reached puberty. You cannot be with him alone, you cannot travel with him alone. This is your brother-in-law, his brother-in-law. So it does not make him mahram to you. He's not your own brother. He is the brother of your husband. And husband has to make sure that, same thing for your sister, your husband and your sister. Same thing. You cannot say, my sister is, she's just in high school, but she reached puberty or not? Does she have her period or not? Yes, that's it. She's not a little child for your husband. Even if he's 40 years old, 50 years old. Sorry, but this is our deen, And that's where all these things are transgressed. Under the guise of, this is culture, you are backward, everything for you sexual, this kind of thing. No. It doesn't have to be for me like that to tell you don't do this. I'm not looking at it, but I'm afraid of this. It doesn't. Please, respect the point where I'm coming from. Okay? Yeah, my brother, when he hugs my daughter, this is their paternal uncle. Mahram for them, right? They can travel with him and all of that. Alhamdulillah, he's a good man, pious, righteous, good. Alhamdulillah, right? But my cousin, no. My cousin, my own cousin, my paternal cousin or maternal cousin, he cannot hug my daughters. Even though he's an older man, right? My cousin, he's my cousin. Can he marry one of my daughters? Yes. So he cannot be like that. My brother-in-law, my sister's husband, he cannot feel comfortable with my daughter. My daughter cannot feel comfortable around him, even if he is the age of their father, even if he is the age of their grandfather. I see that transgressed all the time. Girls, 17, 18 years old, and they are running to all these kind of men. They are hugging them in weddings and all of these kind of things. Is he your grandfather? No, why you are hugging him? Oh, no. If 1 in a million will be good, all the million shouldn't do it. You get my point here? So if everybody, I'll give everybody the benefit of doubt, that there is nothing, there is no feeling whatsoever from the man's side or from the poor, innocent girl's side. But if 1 in a million, there will be something wrong, all the rest of 900,000, 99.9 whatever, they should not do it. Okay? So this is when Rasulullah SAW said, a man and a woman be alone, it includes everybody. Everybody. Abu Bakr included, Umar included, Uthman included, Ali included. Him included, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, without especially for a need or an exception for him, specifically because he's a prophet of Allah Azza wa Jal. To the point that one time he's in the masjid and his wife Safiya radiallahu anha came visited him, talked about something. So he went walking out from the masjid to get her to her house. So we're talking a few steps, like here and outside the door. So he's talking with her before she enters her. He's talking. She's covered, completely covered. 2 Sahaba passing by, and when they reach in front of the Prophet, they run fast. They looked and they faster pace. He said, wait, come here. This is Safiya, my wife. You see? He told them, Ya Rasulullah, we never doubt you. He said, I know, but shaitan runs like blood in your vein. You see how far Rasulullah ﷺ would go? It's not because he doubt himself no, because he's afraid they commit the sin of thinking. Right? But that tells you where the relationship between man and woman can be. Even with his own wife, he does not want to be misinterpreted. Because sometimes we take things also as my wife, right? Like you have to know. Right? You have to know. So this is very, very important. Okay? Like, you see, like last time here, my sister came and I haven't seen her for a long time. So she gave me a hug over here in the masjid, right? And maybe it will be misinterpreted. Nobody said, what kind of Shaykh is this? Right? But I know most of you, if not all of you, they know that we are brother and sister, right? And one time, in one meeting that we went, and my sister was making a presentation for the school I am fundraising for. So I'm fundraising for the school, Dar al-Arqam, and she was like doing, I don't know, Dar al-Arqam or another school. Yeah. But she was, giving the presentation and I'm doing the fundraising. Most of the people sitting, they don't know she's my sister. I'm sure of that. Most of the people sitting there, they don't know she's my sister, right? So when I am standing there, she came very close, right? She came very close to me and actually started looking at me and talking, asking and all of this. And then, at the end, I said thank you and all that. And I said, by the way, this is my sister. And I said, this is my biological sister. Because it's still, saying my sister will not be understood. Still, this is my sister, like I'm proud of you, sister, something like that. So that's actually my biological sister. We have same father and mother, This is Shaykh Mustafa's daughter too. So, yeah, sometimes you need to make this clarification. Why we go all this far? Because of this issue we're talking about. This relationship between man and woman is very, very important. Now, and there are many, many hadith. That's why also in Islam we tell the woman not to put perfume, so the smell is found by men and they get attracted. But, don't misunderstand this one here, because some people, they abuse this both ways, right? They abuse it both ways. Islam is not telling you don't put perfume. That's one. And Islam is not telling you don't put perfume when you're going out either. What does that mean? Can I put perfume when I'm going out? Yeah, if the smell does not go to men. If you are in a gathering of women only all the way, no men, it's fine. So the problem is not you putting perfume or you putting perfume outside. The problem is you putting perfume so men can, she smells good. That is the problem. So you have to understand why. That's why the ulama said the perfume of the women is what you cannot find the smell of. She can smell it herself or someone who's really close. But the man cannot get close anyways. Right? The man is not supposed to be close to you anyways, like to that level that they can smell. There are some perfumes which are very light. Now I know many people are going to go against me in this one, right? But sometimes you have a freshener or you have the deodorant or something after you bathed or you showered. It's okay. Yeah, as long as in your area here there is no men that come that close to smell, you're fine. So the Islam is not telling you haram to put perfume or haram to put perfume and go around, but it is haram that you exaggerate to a point that everyone you're passing by, including men, will smell it. And then they will be attracted. Then they will think. Then they will imagine. Then they will. Now you are leading them to do this. So become sinful, and you are sinful because you make them sinful. So that's why hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, كل عين زانية, every eye commits zina والعياذ بالله. والمرأة إذا استعطرت فمرت بالمجلس فهي كذا وكذا. And the woman, if she put بعطر and she passes by the gathering of men, they find her smell, she is such and such. It means a bad thing. Yeah. She is such and such. So this is very, very important. Some other hadith, she puts perfume in order for people to smell it. That's extreme now, right? So sometimes you choose the perfume which is strong. Actually, this is the sunnah for men. For men, we're supposed to put the perfume that's strong. But for women, they're supposed to put the perfume which is not to be smelled. That's why they said عطر المرأة باطن وعطر الرجال إيه ظاهر. يعني زينة المرأة باطنة وزينة الرجال ظاهرة. يعني the عطر of the men is out, like misk and amber and oud and all these kind of strong smells. And the women is like light things. You can put the strong one at home the way you like, or your husband the way you like, but not mahram. No. Yes.
There are certain bodies, people release more sin no matter how light the perfume is.
They'll be strong.
The release of their body
Ahsanti.
acid,
The good.
it gives more perfume.
Good. That's a good question. That's a good point. That's why, like our fuqaha said, in the way of niqab, for example. Niqab for women. There are two schools. One that says it's fard, cover, and one says that you uncover the face and the hands. On the feet there is another debate, but face and hand. But all of them have consensus that if the woman's beauty is to the point that everybody will be attracted, it's a must on her to wear niqab. Even those who said that women in natural time, consensus among all four schools. If the woman's jamal or beauty is above the average, is above the limit, so she's not everybody, she's someone else, right? Now that everybody's going to look at her, then she have to wear the niqab. Same thing. If the woman's body is that kind, any perfume doesn't work, she should not put perfume when she's leaving out. Very simple. And there are now deodorants which is unscented. So if that's going to become an issue, but her sweat also smells and all that. Also, because of that, see, I give you the rule, and then I'm sharing the hadith and all of this. Why we're doing this here? Because many people, they take it from the other end. Oh, do this, don't. But we said at the beginning, Allah created you different, to function a certain way. You are worship Allah Azza Jal. You can compete in the good manner. You can be better than men. It is not better and lower now, because you are a female, you are less, and the male, he's more. We understand all of that. Now, to achieve all of this, Allah make the rules. Now the rules make sense to you, right? So Allah Azza Jal said, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, لعن الله المتشبهين من الرجال بالنساء والمتشبهات من النساء بالرجال الحديث صحيح البخاري. That Allah Azza wa Jal curses. The curse of Allah is upon those women who imitate men in the way they dress and in the way they act. And vice versa. The curse of Allah is upon men who become like feminine, females, the way they dress and the way they talk and the way they act. Why? Because Allah created everyone different to function in a certain way. By imitating the other and all that, that means you're not pleased with what Allah did, and you are, you are opposing the main function that Allah created for. Now, somebody can come and shoot back and say, but some people are sick. Some people, I'm not talking about those who are sick. I'm not talking about those who have problems. It's like physical sickness, there are mental sickness, there are emotional sickness, there are psychological sickness, there is sexual sickness, there's all types of sickness. Okay? But we're talking about those who have choices, those who are that. And any sickness have treatment. Because some people also will think that sickness is justification to act in a certain way. Right? So sometimes, I'm created that way. What does that mean? That means, this part which says haram in Islam, I can allow you? Is that what you're trying to say? Right? Yeah, I'm inclined to the same gender and this I'm created that way. Fine. Let's assume that you are created that way. Let's assume that. That a woman who have tendency to other women or a man who have a tendency to other men. Let's assume that, yes, Allah created you like that, and does that make the haram halal though? No. What if a man comes to me and he said, I have a tendency, but I need 5 women, not 4 only. I can be with 20. We said, that's okay for you? When Allah said it's only 4 women, many in the Jahiliyyah, they had 10 or more women with them. 10. And the divorce was unlimited. Right? Was unlimited. They divorce and they bring back. Divorce and bring back. So a woman was basically like a slave, right? And then, they have 10 or more. So it does not mean that, I can take care of them, Ya Rasulullah. I can do this. And I can, alhamdulillah, they are fine. They are agreeing. I am fine. They are everything is good. So make exception for me with the rule of 4. No. You see how Islam is applied here? No. So it does not, when you are an exception of a rule, it does not give you the right to make a rule for yourself. Islam will make a rule for you if it is justified. Like a person is sick, you can gather the salah together. You are a traveler, you can shorten the salah together, right? But you cannot do that on your own because your schedule is like such and such, right? Islam can accommodate you within certain limits. Relationship, sexual relationship, man-woman. And only in the context of marriage. Alas. So if both consent but not marriage, not acceptable. If man and man, not acceptable. If woman and woman, not acceptable. You see? It has to be between man and woman and within a certain context, certain contract. If it is between man and woman, but not that contract, it doesn't work. If a man comes to another man who has a daughter, and he said, I want your daughter to be my partner for the rest of my life. I love her. I will cherish her. I will do this. Would you let her move with me in my place? And he said, yeah, she can go. That's not marriage. He has to say, zawajtuka, like that. He has to say the word that I give you in marriage. And he has to say, qabiltu. You see? The word. Even the word has to be said in a certain way. Even if the end result is the same, doesn't work. 2 people can live together and her father, that's what boyfriend and girlfriend do, right? The boy comes and they dates and then, she said, Dad, I'm moving to his house. Let's go. Very educated people, So this is how it is. Actually, you tell them, marriage is much, much easier than that. But it's a commitment. There's a commitment. There is respect to your daughter. Right? There is respect, there is commitment. There is like a long-term plan. It's not like a joke. And it is not like a physical thing. It's more. So that's why it has to be within that context. And it cannot be between man and woman. Even if that man is created like this, let's assume that. But it does not make, this is your test. Allah tests people to be poor. Allah tests people with cancer. Allah tests people with diabetes. Allah can test people also with this sexual orientation thing. But it does not make you, it does not justify for you to violate the rule of Allah Azza wa Jal. The end of the discussion, because some people say, but they are created like this, Shaykh, what should we do? I say, no, you don't agree with that. Don't act according to your desire. That's the whole deen. Whole deen is like we have desires, but we don't act according to our desire because there are restrictions. Now, and there are many ahadith, subhanallah, talking about men not to be going behind women in a lustful manner, and about women not to be dressed or acting in a revealing manner. So there are many, many ahadith in this regard. And I'm telling you, it's not only putting you down, it is actually because the weakness of the men, right? And the attractiveness of the woman. So it goes both ways. So it's not like who's better and who's less. It's not like that. That's why Allah Azza wa Jalla said to the wives of the Prophet, don't speak softly. So the man who has sickness in the heart, yatma'a, he thinks in a bad manner about you. So Allah ordered you not to do something because of the person with sickness. So he's the one that the rule is made for, right? So you are not letting a chance for a sick person to do something wrong. And based on that, when we tell women dress properly, it is not about restricting your move. Yeah, it comes with the package that your move will be restricted, in the summer you will be hot, that's part of it. But you are doing this first to please Allah, two, to deter somebody who's weak. So it is not about a defect in you, astaghfirullah, Actually, it gives you more strength. That's why I tell the sisters, when you wear hijab, there are plenty of things. Hijab is a statement, you are wearing your religion, it is your choice to cover yourself, you don't show yourself except to those whom you want, right? And thus to please Allah Azza wa Jal. So it's actually empowering. The hijab is not like enslaving or subduing women or subjugating them like Shaitan makes people think like that, but it's actually the complete opposite. It is the complete opposite. Hijab does the complete opposite. It frees you. It does not enslave you. And that hijab is to prevent the men to act upon their weakness when they look at a woman without hijab. So it is us who are weak. So you're actually helping us not to submit to our lust and weakness. As I said, it depends on how you look at it. Humayd, the wife of Abi Humayd As-Sa'idi, one of the companions of Rasulullah SAW, she came to Rasulullah and said, Ya Rasulullah, Inni uhibbu salata ma'aka. I love to pray with you. Means at the masjid. قال, he said, قد علمت أنك تحبين الصلاة معك. I know that. I'm not denying that you do. I know you're not exaggerating. I know exactly you're right. وصلاتك في بيتك خير من صلاتك في حجرتك. وصلاتك في حجرتك خير من صلاتك في دارك. وصلاتك في دارك خير من صلاتك في مسجد قومك. وصلاتك في مسجد قومك خير من صلاتك في مسجدي. He told her, your salah, baytik here means your bedroom. The bayt is bedroom. That's why people in Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, when they say fil bayt, means in the bedroom. A dar is the house. All right? Yeah, that's why, when we say al-bayt, Egyptians said bayt means my house. But some people, when they say al-bayt, bayt makan al-baytuta is where you spend the night, yani. Right? So he's telling her, your salah in your bedroom is better than your salah in your main room. Yani it's like sleeping quarters. There is like a bedroom, like a sleeping quarter, and there is the bed. It's like now you enter a big bedroom, master bedroom, they say. There is the closet, there is the bathroom, there is the bed, and sometimes there is like a living area, like also there is a couch, like that, right? Imagine like this. So he's telling her, your salah in your bayt, like right beside your bed, is better than in the bigger room, right? And your salah in your bigger room is better than your salah in your dar, anywhere in the house, yani, in your dar. And your salah in your house is better than your local masjid. And your local masjid is better than the main masjid. You know, the old times, they were Masjid Al-Jami', like in the whole city there is a big Masjid of Jum'ah. Yani. That's where the big imam and all of this are. And then there are local musallas or small masajid. That's why even when you go visit the Masjid of the Prophet, you'll find some small masjids here and there. Right? So those are local masjids. So he's telling her the degrees. Your salah in my masjid is good. He did not tell her, don't come pray with me. He didn't say that. Did he? He said, I know you want to pray with me, but your prayer in your bed, beside your bed, is better than in your room. Your room is better than your house. Your house is better than your local masjid. Your local masjid is better than praying with me in this masjid. That means all of them are good, but he's giving her the degrees. It is reversed than the man. Man goes the opposite, right? The man goes the opposite. Him going to pray with the Prophet is number one. Lesser is to pray in his local. Lesser is to pray in his house. Lesser is to pray. Actually, it becomes very bad if he does that. Yani. But for women, it's the opposite. So, here if you look to the wisdom of Allah Azza wa Jal, the wisdom of the deen, you are not going to negotiate and say, why me, why this, why that. Because both are completing each other, so both have two different roles. Imagine if Salat al-Jama'ah is as emphasized for women as men. See, now I'm reframing your mind now. Imagine if you have to come to Salat al-Jama'ah whenever you can. Most of the women will not be happy. See? We fight for what we don't have, right? But we don't know that what we have is better than what we don't have. We don't know that one until we have to taste it first. So you don't believe, but with Allah and His Rasul, you have to trust that this is for your own good. Because you don't see it. Now imagine if Salah is on you in the masjid like it is on us, men. Your life will be miserable. How are you going to come for Fajr every day? How are you going to come for Jum'ah every Jum'ah? It becomes an issue. It becomes an issue. What if your period comes to you while you are in the Jum'ah Salah? You see that? You know, what if many things, like you are pregnant, you want to rest, or you have your issues, you know, right? So you see the rahmah of Allah to you, actually. There's a rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jal to you. If you think, just think. Think and trust Allah, Allah will give you the wisdom, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. Women can work, no problem. But as we mentioned last time, as long as there is an agreement, and this is not the default. You have to understand that it's not the default for the woman to go work public. And again, working home, nobody says it is less than working out. This is a 100-year-old concept. It was never there before. 100-year-old, 200 max. When the Industrial Revolution came up, when the World War took place, and the men died in mass numbers, and the women find themselves forced to go and fill the place, right? That's when all this work thing happened. But all history before that, women were happy with what they do. They feel actually honorable because all of these men working is the product of a woman home. You agree? And all these doctors, engineers, people teaching, people fighting, people doing, people generals, people presidents, people kings. Who raised them? Who raised all of this? A woman, right? But now the shaitan way is you go compete with the ones that you can raise, actually. You are the one who's raising. That's why Ahmed Shawqi said, Al-Ummu madrasatun idha a'adattaha a'adatta sha'aban tayyib al-a'raqi. One poet, he said that mom is the school, is the school, is a school, is the school. If you prepare that school well, you prepare the whole nation. So why you compete with someone who can be your own product? I am a teacher. Why should I compete with my student? I can teach my student. Yeah, my student can become better than me, but I am his teacher. Nobody can change that fact, right? You know, become the president. But who's your teacher of the first grade? That's your teacher. He will stay your teacher. You are the product of this person. You get it? So a great man is the product of a mother. He's a product of the mother. And a big, huge husband, he cannot have successful children without his wife. Again, if you think about it, you will see who needs who more. But all this perverted thinking, telling the woman, no, 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 no. The only credit and the only honor you get is when you go out and compete with the man. Actually, the man is doing less of a job. You are leaving what is more honorable and what is more important to somebody who is just providing the money, financial aspect for the family. You are providing the psychological stability, emotional, physical, taking care, loving, teaching the kids, how to respect, feeding them, taking care of them. You are doing way more honorable. He's there just to support you to raise this generation. Subhanallah. It's like shaitan, comes to Adam, alayhi salam, and said, Adam, you know why Allah prevented you from eating from the tree? Because you will be angels or you will be immortal. So make him forget that Allah told him you can do whatever you want except one. Now he reframed his mind. He said, if you eat from that one prevented, you become immortal. So what immortal mean anyways to me? Should think, right? What immortal means to me? If Allah himself said you can do whatever you want, what is being an angel? Allah make the angels prostrate actually to me. And if think, logically, Allah make the angel, but shaitan make him forget all of that. Focus on something attractive. That's why shaitan persuades us as men, persuade you as women, by something attractive, and prevents you from thinking about the big picture, about the role that you are doing is way more honorable, more important than anything. The man is only doing like certain thing to help you fulfill your bigger duty. Subhanallah. The mother. We stop here, inshallah, and next time we continue, inshallah, from a different perspective about how Islam looks at women and how the woman is abused emotionally and politically and economically before she's abused physically. Right? So be careful of that. Why we're mentioning all of this? To avoid and to have a vision. My advice to my daughters, to my sisters, to you, to everybody, please focus on education. Islamic education specifically. The other education, alhamdulillah, I'm sure that you want your kids to be good in math and English and all of that. This is thing. Do the same concern, apply the same concern with the deen. Would you please, inshallah, start doing that? Educate yourself and worry about your kids' education. 10 years, teach them Islam. Small part at a time. Teaching the salah, tahara and salah, fasting, zakah and hajj, these pillars of Islam. Teach them about iman and aqidah, about Quran. Make your daughters memorize Quran. The more she memorizes, the more Quran in that house that she will be the wife in. Okay? So don't only look at it long. The more Quran, you see how many children she will affect. And when she knows Quran, that kind of husband will come according to this as well. Right? So everybody looks. Subhanallah, it works in amazing manners. Someone said, there is a girl who to get married and she's a hafiz. Oh no, it's not me, man. That means now it's like jewels. Yeah, maybe customers will not come to that store all the time, but when they come, clean ones they come. Only those who appreciate this. Right? So I'm not saying that she's a product. I'm just giving you an example to draw the analogy, right? Everyone, you create your own value. And your value is a religious value. It's a deen value. Right? When we start that, we change how the society think. Okay? So when parents, they have sons, they want to get married, they know that most of the girls in the society, they are pious and righteous. My son has to be one too. Okay? And all those who have girls, they know that the boys will only require a pious and righteous. They will raise too. See? It goes both ways. So educate yourself, please. And educate your children in the deen way. Over time. Give yourself time. But every day there has to be something. And with love, inshallah, you achieve what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us for. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.